Welcome to Keeper Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl here to bring you another reading for Scorpio. Thank you, Spirit, for protecting Collective and keeping us safe, for protecting me, keeping me safe. Thank you, Scorpio, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. But most of all, for showing up. This deck is splitting. King of Cups. He has such a young face. He tricks me into thinking he is the page. But that's just it. Very young at heart is what I get from this card. Scorpio. Three of Swords with the Moon. King of Swords. So we have the Four Swords. Emotional conversation. Wanting to have sex. That's again with the Six of Pentacles. So it's a question of give and take. Being fair. We have the Eight of Swords showing being very stubborn and very worried. Lots of swords. Going over the mental issues. You bringing up what was in the past. Bringing it in to the present. Resurfacing issues that you may have had that you want to talk about. Here we have the Two of Pentacles to bring things back into the balance with the Page of Cups. So you have that sense of wanting to be in a commitment, but you're pulling and tugging in your mind. You're not sure, or you're worried that the next person isn't ready or they don't want. Here we have the High Priestess, where you're opening up and following your intuition and being self-sufficient in the meantime, wanting to share with someone, wanting to be with someone, having that conversation. The Four of Pentacles is being held back. Again, it's a question of tug of war in your mind, Scorpio. What is it that you really want? You need to put your focus there. And if it is that you want to speak to someone, then that High Priestess is saying that you have it in you to open up and share. That Four of Swords, to have that emotional conversation with the King of Cups, because they're very devoted if it isn't you. But somebody is very devoted. See, we have some more cards showing themselves here. We have, again, with the Eight of Swords, we have our Hermit wanting to heal. Sorry, the Hierophant. So learning from the past, learning from what took place in the past, having things being thrown out of balance, and now coming into understanding the whys and the hows. You're being stubborn, or you're holding your ground on what you believe. You will not be turned. You will not have someone convince you otherwise. There's a judgment call, a second chance. The Nine of Wands to heal a relationship for some. Again, the Queen of Pentacles is coming in here saying that I'm on my own and I can be on my own. Again, that's that Eight of Swords, not wanting to bend. The Two of Swords, holding back with the Knight of Swords, not wanting to speak or waiting for the right moment to speak. Scorpio. It's as if you're on the edge. But then I do this reading at the end of the month. It's the 27th. When I post this, the moon is just, I think it's still in Cancer. It's second day, or going into the second day. I have to check that when I do the next set of readings. Well, the last four after this one. I will check the positioning of the moon, because I'm basing my readings, or this set of readings, on the new moon and the energy of the new moon. And I say to the last couple of signs that if you are doing any manifestations, well, now is a good time to put it out into the world, or give it to Spirit. What is you really want? happiness seems to be on the table for you. That second chance and having the clarity to speak and to say what's really on your mind. And another ace about being in a relationship and having that sense of home, talking about all of those things, and being that you want to have your destiny, or you want to be in alignment with your destiny. The Four of Swords is where your mind is. It's on your destiny. We have the strength that you know you have within you to make that offer, or to accept the offer, to feel at home, in other words, where you, whoever you're with, you have the courage to make a home with them. Ten of Pentacles says that you are holding on to that legacy or marriage for some. Being stubborn, not letting go. Knowing what you want is key here, Scorpio. I'm using the Stained Glass Tarot by James Edward, and the spread that I'm using is the Celtic Cross. The Oracle deck for this read is the Herbal Astrology by Adriana Ayales. Choosing the cards at random, starting off with the Two of Swords. So you're indecisive, or you're holding back, or you're waiting for the right moment to step forward and speak. The challenge is to overcome that. And Five of Swords is to really step up and take back what is yours. If it is that you felt jilted or taken advantage of, you've overcome that, or you are overcoming it. Again, the Strength card is there, the Empress card is there, the Hierophant card is coming to mind, where you're becoming stronger, you're learning from deep lessons or harsh lessons, and for some, but you're coming through, and it's not easy because you're a water sign, and you're up in your mind. Your mind is working seriously hard, and that's okay, because Mercury is, I forget if Mercury is in Gemini. I think it might be in Gemini. I'm going to take a look at that for the next reads. But Mercury is active, and Jupiter is active, and I think Jupiter is exiting Gemini, going into Cancer, if it's not already in Cancer, and that brings everything home. So bringing up from the past and finding resolve now, making yourself feel at home, is what is on the table for you. You're holding back, or you're holding yourself back, or you're following intuition into waiting for the right moment, and not just being held back, but seeing a different perspective. What you've been through, you're re-examining the path that you've chosen, or what has taken place, what has happened to you, the disappointments that you've been through, that sense of feeling I need to wait, or I need to hold myself, or I'm not ready. You're re-examining that because there is a relationship that you want to be in, and you need to step forward, and you're contemplating why you're not able to step forward. Here we have our King of Pentacles, so taking that responsibility, being responsible, having that plan to be, or to make a proposal, or just to build up your legacy is what everything is based on. And it is the mindset. Again, we saw the Eight of Swords coming down here to the Five of Swords. So we're really re-examining what decisions that we've made, and where we want to go, and if we want to change our mind. Changing of the mind is where the Three of Wands brings us. And you did change your mind at some point. you had one plan going, and this is probably where the hangman stepped in and said, no, I don't want to do that, I want to wait. And this was just recently, so we're looking at still the month of June, or just prior to, or it could be months ago. You know your situation when things were going one way and you decided to go a different way. Here we have our King of Wands, so the future card. And King of Wands is fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, in the sense where you have that innovation, that passion, that desire for, you want to build something. Working with our King of Pentacles is very powerful. So your mindset is very strong. Again, with the Eight of Swords, there's something you're not letting go of, or you're holding dearly to. And it is, again, in the mind, how you see what you see, or where you see yourself, or the relationship that you want to be in. Very masculine in this read, because it's a question of taking decisions and executing them, because that's what he does. He's the executioner. He will carry out the work and make sure that everyone is cared for, and he sets it up so that the work can be done. So it's really building the foundation, and creating that legacy is what you're planning on doing, Scorpio. You really want to settle down. You've changed your mind about something. You're holding yourself back on a particular relationship because you want to be either in control, or you want to see that you have what it takes, or you have enough to begin really building on the foundation. Now, because this is a fire sign, I'm looking at August because it's the closest to Leo that I could see here. And not that I'm thinking it is a Leo, but before I did your reading, I was contemplating doing the reading because it is getting a little late, and August seems to be what was on my mind as doing the Scorpio reading. The time of fruition would be in August. So seeing that the King of Wands comes into your read the way it does, and the position that it does, I'm convinced that August would be a time when you would see change. If it is that you have changed your mind about something and you're holding yourself back, August would be the time to move forward on an idea. Again, you're changing your mind about something. Right now, you're in the position of the Two of Wands. So new plans are being looked into. And again, it is because of the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands that you're either formulating something new, working on new ideas, or you're shifting from one idea to another, and you're thinking this might be the better way to go. Again, you're holding yourself back, or you're changing the perspective. You're looking at things in a different light. You're looking at the past in a different light, and you're seeing how you can build a future from that. Here we have the Judgment. So a judgment call needs to be made. Someone wants to make a judgment call or have a second chance with you. Again, it is a relationship that seems to be connected from lifetimes. Sorry about that, Cancer. I'm going to call you Cancer. Scorpio, I had a little disturbance there, and we were at the Judgment call, and then I see the bottom of the deck with the Six of Cups. So you're dealing with the past for sure. You're dealing with someone that really does love you, or that you really do love each other. And there's that second chance coming around, wanting to have one with you. Here we see our Knight of Wands. So really wanting to start afresh and have a new adventure. Take that second chance to higher level of actually going somewhere, taking a trip, or really connecting with the person that's maybe a fire sign. You're dealing with fire signs, earth signs. Could be that you want to make that connection with them. My little friend is having his little attack there. Yeah, he's doing okay. But this ends with the tower. So again, the holding back, the rethinking, or the looking over what took place brings change. It brings a rebuilding, a remodeling. It's a new foundation that will be set up. But something needs to come to an end. And it is that holding back, that not wanting to step forward, or keeping yourself from stepping forward. Every time you think you will move forward, you pull back. Well, that has to end in order for a new beginning to happen. And I skipped over the fear here, but the fear is in that the relationship will not last. It will burn itself out. Given a second chance, it's liable to just be for fun. But that in itself is where the tower will come in. And if it is that it is meant to be, then you will know change will come from this relationship. The desire is to have a new beginning with someone from your past, or someone that you haven't had communication with for a while, who does want to come in and have that communication with you. They want a new beginning, and they want to show you that things have changed. And in having that communication, that in itself will create change. Here we're looking at the Six of Swords with the Six of Cups. So it's double sixes, and it's really easing of the mind and feeling that you could talk about what was, and how things were, and where you want to go in the future, bringing things into the present day, because I mentioned that at the beginning, where things are really resurfacing from the past, and you're able to talk about it, or you're able to think clearly about it. Here we have the Temperance card for healing, and the Nine of Swords for all of that worry that you may have had, or anxiety that you were going through. And of course, with the Magician making the 10 swords, all truth is going to come out. And that is what needs to happen with the Tower. That's what will happen with the Tower. When you do have a conversation about being in a serious relationship and being satisfied. And instead of holding back, you're opening up. You're opening up and having all that clarity come forward in what you talk about, being that you want to choose, you want to make your choice as to who you will be with, and of course that proposal will come forward. Scorpio, it's a slow process, but you've come a long way, and it's a question of just allowing it to happen now, because the King of Wands here is making it that it becomes real, and not just a thought in your mind about who you want to be with and why you want to be with them. Change is coming, and in August you'll see that change. Once you have the conversation, if you allow the person who wants to meet up with you if you allow them to come in, and you see them as they are, then you're right, you're creating that change. Let's see what the Oracle message is for Scorpio. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see. Here we have the Blue Lotus, which is beautiful. Look at rebirths, regeneration, and all. So we have the sun and the moon. That's giving us an eclipse. So eclipse season is coming up between September and October, if I'm not mistaken. And if you don't see change by August, well, you're going to definitely see change by September, October. And this one is the 5, the Blue Lotus. Intuition, following your intuition. That's what you need to do, Scorpio. Here it says, intuitive knowing, unearthing the subconscious, meeting the guardians of mystery, dream work, initiation. So following your dreams and really paying attention to them and allowing them to talk to you, tell you the messages that you need to hear. Allowing Spirit to guide you. Again, this is Spirit as much as it is you, the hangman, holding back and making you see in a different light. The sacred and mystical blue lotus, regarded as the flower of enlightenment, is an ethnobotanical treasure that has been recorded in ancient scriptures as a heal-all and is revered as an ancestral flower in mythological creation stories. Blue lotus is a water lily best known for its powers of euphoria, intuition, rejuvenation, and aphrodisia. Let's see what the guidance is for you. Well, before we jump there, see, the blue lotus, although revered as the flower of the sun, embodies both solar and lunar elements chemically. It contains a natural antispasmodic and relaxant called Nucifer, moon, along with apophine, which produces a sense of euphoria and bliss, the sun. These alkaloids, among other medicinal components, bring about pain relief, stress relief, and lucid awareness. So, yeah, I mean, paying attention to your dreams, allowing time in the sun, allowing focal points with the moon. We're in the moon now, the new moon building up into the full moon. It's a question of really just focusing on what you want, being calm, getting the rest, enjoying the weather, paying attention to the self more than anything on a natural level. And of course, on the medicinal side, well, stress relief seems to be where you need to pay attention, because you have a lot of swords showing up in your read. And here we look at the guidance. The blue lotus is a direct doorway, a mediator into the world of the gods. The perfected balance that it bestows us assists us in bringing and refining the divine connection between the heart and brain. Blue Lotus today is assisting you in widening the portals of your intuitive powers, granting you access to the realms of inner knowledge held within the great mystery. Remember, the lotus rises from the depths of muddy waters, untouched and impeccable, to blossom into majestic beauty. Don't allow muddy waters of the blossoming process to suppress your intuition, and believe in yourself. Trust the process and believe in the mystery. Listen deeply to the guardians of mystery as you unfold from darkness. And on that note, Scorpio, until our next read, love and light.